Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? Guys, I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore, the healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. Today, we're just going to kind of mix it up. We're going to go away from some of the normal stuff we talk about. We're going to talk about something that I don't think I've ever really talked about. But we're going to talk about it today, just kind of getting real on the mortality, of life and kind of, I don't know, for some reason, I think that we kind of, do you think like you are going to live forever? Like seriously? So today let's talk about some misconceptions about mortality and how we can just kind of like bridge the gap between obviously that dash that we're living in and the fact that we're all going to get to the end at some point. So today I just want to let you know this podcast is brought to you by Living Free Financial Services, and Living Free Financial Services helps business owners, really pretty much get organized financially and really fix your finances, right? If you're a business owner and you need to fix your finances, you need to get things organized. You definitely want to check out what they are doing at thehealthyaccountants.com or the taxfreewealthchallenge.com. I have that website, that you can go to. And look, we have an installment of where you can save money on your taxes, because maybe you can't spend the $10,000, $20,000 to work with a company that really can help you do it, like hands-on. But $97, like $97 gets you a lot of the frameworks that we use for our clients to help them to actually avoid paying, taxes that they don't have to pay because you're legally taking deductions. But more importantly, if you fix your finances in your business, then that will help you to get to the level that you want to get to. All right, guys. So I'm going to jump into the program today, but I also want to let you know too. Oh yeah, that's right. Today, I just want to let you know at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, if you are in the Washington, D.C. area, check me out. I'm on a program. I'm on Monday Mondays with my good friend Tavon Jackson, who is a financial planner, doing some amazing work in the area. And we're going to be on Great Day Washington. I believe that's on Channel 9. So at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, check me out on Great Day Washington, Monday, October 10th, 2022. So thank you so much. So let's get real. Let's get real, guys, about what? Let's get real, guys, about mortality. So does anyone here think of their death? Have you ever thought of your death before? Have you ever thought of a loved one's death? Have you ever thought of, no one wants to think of their kids dying, or no one wants to think of any of that stuff because it breaks you to actually think about it. So especially as we get older, right? I have a 51st birthday coming up next week. I believe that's on Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 19th of October. I'll be 51. Man, 51. Like if I was adding it up, I don't know how many years I have left. I have no idea how many years I have left. I guess if we were going off of the amount of time, that's the average. I have more years behind me than in front. More years behind than in front. That's just the average. Most people don't live to 100. Most people don't live to 90. A lot of people live to 80 these days, right? But most people don't get there. So I've heard recently friends passing away at 54, 45. I've had friends pass away at 30. My brother passed away at 47. It wasn't of his, he didn't die of any ailments. His life was taken, but we just don't know how we're going to pass. Yesterday I was driving. I was headed to go see a client. She's she was up in age, right? So a lot of times I try and help out. And so when they need special circumstances, oh, can you come by my house? Typically, I don't normally do that these days, but it was a Sunday. I said, you know what, 88 years old, let me go by. And I'm going by, I'm not really telling you that story, but I'm going by because I'm driving up a road that I normally come and I see a house engulfed in fire. Imagine that family, like a whole house, nice house, like, something like what I live in today, house up in fire, like literally it must have just happened because the ambulance, I mean, not that the ambulances and the fire trucks hadn't even gotten there yet. Now I couldn't stop because I'm headed somewhere and I'm looking at people who already got their phones out and folks, but I'm like, wow, when they woke up that morning, did they know that their house was going to be on fire? No, they didn't. And I'm praying that the people got out and no one's in the house. And, only thing that's lost is the stuff in the house. But you don't know what's going to happen that day that you wake up. So mortality is something interesting because it's something that we have to face. And I want us to think of it like my good mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe. He talked about how he would prepare himself for death, meaning he would think about if something happened. Think about if something happened. Not that you want, no one's desire is to experience it, because when it happens, it's painful. And he mentioned that in a couple of his talks. He said that what really helps is the fact that if it happens, he won't be so shocked that he can't get through it. Right. Because a lot of times, sometimes you can experience the death and it's hard to get through it. Because this is hard, man. A good friend of mine, shout out to my good friend, Pete Campbell. He's going through a situation where he's got he's got a battle in front of him. And I know Pete's probably 52. And you don't wake up knowing, oh, I'm going to have this, this ailment. Oh, I'm going to get this, condition. And because we don't know what we'll get. I was out working out. My wife, Jenny, took me to she goes to a trainer, and, they had a little client appreciation yesterday. And it was a client appreciation networking boot camp, right? I missed the whole boot camp part. I missed the boot camp, but I was like, well, honey, they was doing some, it's mostly women. I think it was mostly women. There was only two guys outside of the manager of that facility. So it's three guys, but the manager wasn't doing anything, but it was, so me and another guy doing it, maybe 10 other women. And it was interesting because I got there and I'm like, man, I didn't really come here to do a boot camp. But as I got involved with it, because, I couldn't help myself. I exercised, and I actually missed my exercise yesterday because my time got a little short because I told her I was going to go with her. And so we went. So I was like, well, I might as well get my exercise. And I didn't tell her that at the time. But it was a good exercise. Now, here's my takeaway from that. Something like exercise, I don't care what it is, it actually helps. In a lot of cases, it could be extending our mortality. Like, it doesn't guarantee our mortality. It could potentially extend it. Now, exercise extends over a long period of time. What you think about long period? It's not like if you started exercising today for a month, that there's no guarantees that it's going to do anything. But when you say you've exercised for a whole year, when you say you've exercised 2 years, when you say, man, it's been 8 years and I haven't stopped. When you say it's 20 years and I haven't stopped. When you say it's 30 years and I haven't stopped, then that period of time is where those results are coming in, so that your mortality, even though we don't control, no one controls the mortality. No one controls the day that they actually exit. We don't control it. We can participate in the mortality because we're not immortal now, because there's only one immortal. And so God gives us the ability to participate in what he's given us, which is a body. He says, take your body and use it well. Use the body well. So it's not that yesterday when I did the exercise, look, that was a boot camp. It almost got me thinking, man, maybe I want to go to the trainer 2 times a week so that I can mix up some of my exercises. Like, I was doing some exercise this morning. It's good, and I only had 30 minutes, but I was like, maybe if I just go to the trainer twice a week, maybe how could that help? I want you to think about this as we get ready to close today. I want you to think about the mortality of your life, the mortality of your children if you have children. I want you to think about that. What example can you set for your children if you have young children? So you think my kids have had to watch me for 8 years. Like, let me see, Jared is 19, Jacob is 16. So when I started exercising, actually, yeah, when I started exercising for real, Jared was 11. Yep. Jared was 11 years old. Jacob was 8. So they've had a chance to watch. Now, here's the thing. They may not be doing any of it, but I'm telling you, I know in their Jared has done more. Jacob not as much, but he'll have a foundation because he's going to remember Dad was always going to the gym. Dad was always running. Dad was always doing something with exercise. So what it is that you do, you set the foundation of everything just by looking at your mortality. I looked at my mortality and I says, well, I won't live forever, just by, being a human. Like I can't live forever. Yeah, I can aspire that when the last day comes, I can, live in that immortality. But until then, how can I? Like yesterday, did you catch the podcast yesterday? We introduced this question: How can I? How can I participate in the mortality that I do have, so that I can't guarantee where I'm going to get to? I can't guarantee that I'm going to extend my life, but I can potentially just kind of participate in what it could potentially look like. So if I'm blessed to live to 80, and I've been doing this for 30 years. Wait, let's think. It will be 40. No, at 80, it'll be like 35 years. So I can say, man, I was exercising for 35 years and I'm 80. I can only imagine. I can only imagine, how my body could be feeling then. Because it's that long time, that long period that we use. And that's the same in business. A lot of times, a lot of things that we do in our life we can apply directly to business. So something like the how can I question is the same thing I've been applying to my business when it comes to how can I become more, how can I do more, how can I have more. And by using that question, it's helped me to see just basic things. One, I can't be concerned about what someone else's views are. I can't be concerned about what someone else is doing. I can't be concerned about how someone else is doing. I can only be concerned about how I'm doing it. So how can I set myself apart so that I can be the person I was created to be, so that I can do the things that I was created to do, so that I can have the things, the stuff, the experience, the wealth, the legacy that I know that I should have? How can I? So, guys, let's look at our mortality today. Just today. Take today and say, you know what? I cannot control the day I leave this world. I can participate every day in my experience so that if it's how I eat, if it's how I exercise, if it's how I think, like if it's any of the things that I can do today, how can that help me so that I can live a better life so that I can do that? So, guys, I hope you got a little bit of value from this. If you did, like, share, comment. Let me know. Let me know if you're going to utilize this. How can I question? And let me know if you're going to take every day. You're going to take every day and say, you know what? How can I participate in my mortality? And how can I help myself? Not that I can control the day that I leave, but how can I at least help myself extend it over a good enough period of time that enables me that enables me to live the life that I know I was called to live. I hope you got value from this program today. If you did, then like and share. Let people know that you're watching this kind of stuff on Facebook and YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast, let people share the podcast with other people. But if you are in the Maryland, DC area today, Channel 9 at 9:30 a.m., check us out on Great Day, Washington. I'm on there with my good friend and colleague, Tavon Jackson. We're talking money, finances, and taxes. I hope to see you there, and God bless you. I will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.